All right, so today I want to help you to negotiate like a pro, okay? If you can master the art of negotiation, you are going to be golden. Now, I know that the women entrepreneurs that I work with and those that I serve, and those of you who are tuned into me, those of you who I work with and teach all of the time, women, particularly more so than our male counterparts, we have a hard time really sealing the deal, right? So we get to the cell, we finally get the person on the call with us, and we don't exactly know what we should be saying to close the deal. And we lose opportunities because there's an undertone of fear, right? And I want to talk about that to you about that with you today, because it's very important that if you've gotten this far with getting the person on a call with you on a hopefully on a video conference like Zoom, to actually see them face to face, because it's more effective to have somebody face to face so that you can read body language, you can look in their eyes, you can kind of sense the urgency or the non-urgency, the commitment or the non-commitment, the readiness level or not. You can also like really get a better understanding of what it is they're looking for, and you can communicate with them more effectively when you have their attention like I have it with you right now, right? So let's just suppose before we even get to the actual framework, because there is a framework, and I'm going to just give you a couple of quick tips here to kind of help you get started. So when you're on your next call with a potential client, a lead, okay, then you have somebody that you actually can, like in practical terms, like literally take the information I'm giving you today and go ahead and sell that deal, okay? Because we can't keep losing out on sales, so that we can make sure we're hitting our revenue goals, right? So the first thing is I want to just do a quick mindset check-in, because that is the biggest piece of it in the first place, right? You have some mindset issues around selling. And so I want to just help you in that regard first, okay? So understand that the people who are getting on a call with you are people who need help making a decision. Because if they already were decided based on the nurturing of the relationship you've done up until this point, or if you've already sold them before they even got on a call with you, then they would just be already purchasing, right? Obviously they need your persuasion. And so this is not a time that you're being tricky or manipulative or anything like that. That's not what this is about. This is about coming from a place of genuineness and sincerity, and really helping them understand the solution that you have to their problem and how you are going to solve it through what the benefits of your program is, right? So as a result of them working with you, what is going to be the transformation or the end result? That's really what they need to hear. So oftentimes what happens is you are too focused on what the features are as opposed to what the benefits are. So we're going to talk about that shortly, but I want to make sure that you are very, very clear in understanding that these people that you are talking to are coming to you because they are looking for you to help them make a solid decision. So let's not lose out on this opportunity, okay? Now, when you do have the conversation, like, okay, so if I'm on a call with you right now, you're just going to make this so simple. Act as if you are having a virtual coffee or tea or whatever your favorite beverage is, or a couple cocktails or whatever with a friend, right? You're literally just going to open up the conversation and break the ice and just say, so, I was reading through your questionnaire, hopefully assuming you have one, because that's how you qualify them before they get on a call with you, so that they're not wasting your time and you're not wasting theirs. So I'm just going to assume that you already went through the questionnaire process, or they did, and you've read through it. And so you just pull out some pieces of information that strike you, and you can strike up a conversation based on what you now know about them. And you just break the ice like you would in any genuine conversation, right? If you're coming from a good place, then you're just going to say, hey, yeah, so I noticed that you are living in Atlanta or California or New York or wherever it is you are, and I'm there too. I actually live in such and such and such. Or I noticed you're from this place, or I noticed you work in healthcare, and so do I. And is that what you're doing right now? Like, you just make small talk, right? But be genuine about it. Okay. Once you get past all of that, I'm not saying you need to talk about the weather and, boring stuff, but something that's genuinely of concern, something that caught your eye, something that, you may have in common or what have you. Once you get past that point, you open up the floor to them and ask them what they're coming to you for. Because now we got to go through that assessment process, right? Somebody's coming to you. And I always use this analogy because I'm a nurse. I'm always thinking in terms of a doctor and a patient relationship. If you are going to a doctor, right, and you have a problem, a situation, some pain that you've been experiencing, you're going to the doctor, you need to be the one to present the problems. What are the symptoms you're having? Because the doctor can't read your mind. He or she is just listening at this point attentively, hopefully, at your concerns. And you're bringing up whatever you've been going through. You are the doctor, okay? And the client or prospective client is the patient. So they're coming to you with the problem, and they're going to talk about all of their symptoms, what they've been going through, what they're feeling like. They're tired, they're burnt out, they've done this, they've tried that, they have this going on and that going on, and they just don't know how to bring this all together. Or, whatever their pain points are, they are going to reveal that to you, and your obligation is to allow them to unreveal that, to discover what the underlying issues are, and to ask more questions, okay, so that you can get to the bottom line of what it is they're going through. So that's a part of the assessment period. Of course, you're going to ask additional questions. You're going to ask, the why questions. Those are always important to dive deeper. And then you're just going to really allow them to have the floor so they can talk. The more you listen, the more you learn. So you got two ears for a reason, right? You want to listen twice as much as you do talking. So, okay, learn how to just for a little bit, listen to what they have to say, and then you can ask follow-up questions from there, okay? And so then once you get through this piece, now everybody really at this point should be relaxed, you and them, because now you realize, this is just like a casual conversation with a friend or a family member, okay, or somebody that you are familiar with, an acquaintance or what have you. Now, when you get to this point, this is another piece I need you to understand. There is a difference between obstacles and objections, okay? Obstacles are all of the things that are blocking their barrier to entry to you, that they came to this meeting with. The objections are the things that happen when you get to the point of the sale, okay? And so I know that your fear mostly is around, what you're supposed to, how you're supposed to talk up your product, your package, your service, your program. And I also know you have a fear around the money, right? When it comes time for you to say what the price is, especially if you're selling a high ticket package or program or what have you, you kind of like choke up a little bit. And you need not, because the price is the price is the price. Because you have to understand that if you really completely wholeheartedly believe that your product, your package, your service, your program, whatever, if you really believe in it, you have the solution, and your solution is the best solution for your client, okay? You know that you have some competitors, but you know that your program, your service is the best solution for hopefully your client, right? Someone that you have right in front of you that you are going to help persuade to make a decision that you are the best solution out there in the marketplace. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's all sorts of brands of water, but people have choices, right? And you, depending on which brand you are, which brand of water, which brand of bread, which brand of perfume, which brand of clothing, whatever, you name it, it's out there. Why is your particular thing the best thing? Do you understand what I'm saying? If you believe in that, you would actually be doing them a disservice to not talk that up. And so what you're speaking about at this point then would be the outcome, the transformation, the results, okay? It's kind of like this. If you are a realist, or if you were someone who was in the market for purchasing a home, and you're working with a real estate agent or a broker or what have you, and they're taking you around looking for house to house to house to house to house. You're looking at all of these different homes, but you have in your mind exactly what neighborhood you want to live in, why you want to live in that neighborhood, Maybe it's a particular reason because you have, you and your significant other or your spouse, you and, your family, maybe you got kids that's still in school or going off to college. You want this to be, you want them to be talking to you about the benefits of living here, right? How they're going to make a happy home and how everybody in this neighborhood, they're like family. It's so family oriented over here. It's really, it's safe. And when you live here, it's going to make you, you're going to talk up the home ownership piece of it. And, like you can build generational wealth and then pass this down to your children and all of these things. You're not going to necessarily talk about, oh, it's got 2 levels and it's got this dishwasher over here and it's got this fancy smancy, water dispenser. And those things do matter too, but they don't matter more than the benefits of you purchasing that home. Do you feel what I'm saying to you? You're going to be more focused on, the neighborhood and what it makes you feel like. And when you walk in this home and the fact that you're going to be able to pass this down to your children and build generational wealth. And if, like all of these things, you might be able to pull some of the money out of the home and put your children through college once it builds up equity, whatever. Those are the benefits. Do you understand? And so because, if you are presenting your program or whatever package to your client, they don't care and even necessarily in this moment understand anything about it's got 12 modules. We're going to go through this, we're going to have 100 Zoom calls a week. I'm going to be doing some asynchronous things with you. And then I make these really pretty, colorful PDFs that you can interact with. And then I'm going to take you through this process. And then this is what my framework looks like. That is going to feel overwhelming. And they could care less because that doesn't tell them what in the end, after they actually work with you and go through your program, what does that do for me? Why would I make such an investment, this high of an investment, if I don't know after the 6 months or 12 weeks or 12 months or whatever length of your program is, that after I've invested all of this time, energy, and money, what do I get out of it? What's in it for me? So that's all you need to be focused on. Now, back to the objectives and the obstacles. Thought I forgot, huh? So if they have objectives, like I said, they're coming to you with those things already from the beginning. They got on the call with you with these objectives. Obstacles. You've got to knock those things out the way. And you can do that very easily, okay? The one thing that you have more concerned about, though, and the thing that's the most difficult for you in this sales process is when you get to the objections. There's always, it's too expensive, or I don't have the money, I can't afford it. Same thing, money objectives, right? You also have, I don't have enough time, I'm too busy, I don't know if I can make the time commitment, right? So those are common. So I'm just going to take one for the sake of time here because I like to, give you what you came for, get you in and out of here. So let me just address the one, say the money issue. Or, what about this one? When somebody comes to you and they need to talk about, they need to talk to their spouse. That's a really common one as well. Well, first of all, the people you want to attract, hopefully they're going to be able to make the decision on their own without, to be able to do what's best for them, not necessarily what's best for them and their spouse. But sometimes the way their household is set up, right, they might have to go talk to their spouse. But you want to position it like this. If that is their objective, well, you've already gone through the money situation and you debunked that objection, or you overcame that objection and you helped them to overcome the objection about the time commitment. And now you get to the point where they're like, I'm going to really have to talk to my spouse about this because I don't know if we're going to be able to really afford this. And I don't, it's not just my money. I'm going to have to ask him or her. Pause right there, take a breath and say, okay, I understand where you're coming from, but let me ask you this. And I want you to come from a genuine place when you're asking this question. Does your spouse or significant other know that you are having this problem or that you're struggling with this particular situation? They're going to say, yes, of course. And it's a little bit bright. I just realized I hope you guys can see me okay, because I realize the sun is shining on me now, kind of setting over here. And if they say to you, Oh, well, of course, yeah, we talk about things all the time. I mean, of course, they know I'm going through this problem or I'm struggling with this thing. Oh, okay. Well, if they know that and you've had this conversation with them, what do they feel about you being in this predicament right now? Do they understand how much pain you're in or what your concern is? Do they understand that you're losing sleep over this and that you're looking for a solution to your situation? Have you talked to them about that already? Yeah, I mean, we've definitely had that conversation. Okay, so would it be a fair to say that if you've already had the conversation and they know that you're struggling with this particular problem or that you are hurting right now, and would it be fair to say that if they love you, then they wouldn't, and they care about you, and you've had this conversation, that they wouldn't want to see you in this situation where you're struggling or in this kind of pain, right? And then you can even use the analogy of, I mean, if you had some, if you had a particular problem or, pain in your stomach or your back or your leg or your head, and this pain wasn't going away, it was just sort of residing in this one place and it was getting worse. Wouldn't at some point they support you in going to the doctor and maybe even go with you and say, when the doctor tells you, okay, this is what we're going to have to do to solve the problem, if they wanted you out of this pain, wouldn't they be all in with you to make sure that they did whatever they could to support you so that you can get out of this pain, so that the pain will be resolved? And of course, they're going to say yes. It just puts them in a different mindset. You understand what I'm saying? So again, you're not trying to be manipulative. You're not trying to be, make them feel bad about anything, but you're just putting this into perspective for them so that they understand, well, if you know that to be true, then why would this be different? See, because this is not maybe as tangible to them. So you're going to have to find different creative, unique ways to break it down. You don't even have to, use something like the doctor scenario. You can even say, although that's a very good one, another way you can approach this is to say, well, what if I was presenting you right now with a vacation package? And this vacation, I'm getting you excited about it because it's a vacation that's well-deserved and long overdue, and you haven't taken a vacation in like 3 or 5 years. And I said to you, all the things you wanted to hear about what this vacation is going to do for you. Not only is this a beautiful destination, but when you get there, you are going to feel so relaxed. You are going to feel rejuvenated, re-energized. You're going to feel youthful again. You are going to feel so amazing, and it comes with all of these benefits, and, you're going to talk it up. And then I present to you that this is a package deal for $5,000. Now, in the back of your mind, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Are you going to think to yourself, this is what you're, having a conversation with them. This is how you're presenting it to them. Would you, if you really didn't have the money, would you be resourceful enough to come up with the money? And why or why not? And then they're going to say, well, yeah, I mean, if you say the vacation is, going to make me feel this way, and I know I need it, and I hadn't had a vacation in a long time, of course, I'm going to hop on that. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to pull money from my savings or here or there, wherever. Right. To my point, right? Because you need that vacation. You're going to find you're going to be resourceful to find the money to get the financial means. You're going to do what you have to do to come up with that investment because you know the benefits of that vacation and you need it right now. It's an urgent need. And then you just get back to talking about your program, your product, your service, your solution in the same way. And then ask them, so what's the difference? Because this is going to do this for you. This is what is going to be the transformation. That's priceless. That's invaluable. So why not now? And if not now, when? Because you're doing yourself a disservice by saying no, or by waiting or procrastinating or hesitating, right? So it's just as simple as that. Does that make sense? So I just want to help you master the art of negotiating because you can use this for anything, but it's particularly helpful in sales. So let me know if this has been helpful for you. If you have any follow-up questions or need me to do a follow-up video, I'll be happy to do that. Drop me some comments below. Let me know if you thought about it this way, if you're utilizing these strategies, or if you plan to implement any of what I said in this video. And don't forget to watch the next video that YouTube recommends, okay? So I'm going to tune out while you tune in, while you do just that. As always, and until next time, I am wholeheartedly in this journey with you. Bye for now.